Guys, I'm bringing the party to you.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
You big dummy. Oh, great Odin's raven. Say hello to my little friend.
I stepped in a ditch last night, man. I almost froze my balls off, man.
You take drugs, Danny?
Every day. Good.
What's the problem?
Yeah, David.
Giggity, 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 giggity.
Oh, no function fear well without.
I'm the doctor.
Gangsters, what's up, guys?
This aggression will not stand, man.
Engage. Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
Say hey, everyone. This welcome to the Pop Culture Cafe. It is season. Oh, I wrote the fucking thing down. Where'd it go? Oh, season 12, episode 309. Again, it's just Paul and I. Paul taking a sabbatical from a hard time at work, so he's got to get. He's it's kind of like taking a booze. Go fucking friend of mine bought me another bottle, Captain Morgan.
Oh yeah, another one. So that photo that you sent me, was that the first one or is that the second one?
Nope, that's the first one. So I got a bottle and a half.
Yeah.
Captain Morgan. Yeah,
Captain Morgan spiced. I'm glad that you enjoyed that. That pleases me no end.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, it was. I am gonna be. I drink it occasionally, but mostly on Sundays, because I know it makes me tired, right? So now, but I'm thinking, and off I go to bed. I had one during the week, and I'm sitting in my chair, and I it's like it's 8:30, and I'm having a drink, and I'm already starting ready to fall asleep. So I figured, I better slow down, or I'm gonna fall asleep in my chair. But I love that stuff now.
Yeah, I like mine with Pepsi instead of Coke because I've got a sweet tooth and Pepsi's a little bit sweeter than Coke. And I like Pepsi with a twist of lime. That's quite.
I use Dr. Pepper Zero. It's got no sugar in it. I know, but it works for me, right?
That's absolutely fine. Dr. Pepper isn't for me, but I'm just very pleased that you're still drinking.
Oh yeah. So anyways, on a sidetrack. So if the sound's a little off, I've been for some reason, if you, like most of us use computers, when the something happens and you don't know what you did, because I had changed the settings from before, it decided it didn't want to work. So I'm back recording this through Skype. I'm recording a video and I'll just rip the audio from that. So if it sounds bad, maybe you won't notice. But
and I'm using my Xbox wireless headset today because we were having trouble with the sound. So I tried two different headsets. Got one working.
So we'll go from there. Yeah, we don't know how it's going to go. So, anyways, as long as we can hear each other. If you can't, I'm sorry. But so, anyways, so we're just gonna chat basically, really, because I mean that's what we basically do most times. But this time it's a little bit more like that because just Paul hasn't been very busy, so hasn't had a lot of stuff, and unfortunately our third member has decided not to come back yet, so I don't know what's going to happen there. So you're stuck with me finding news and stuff, which is holy cow. So we'll start with a little bit of news, and then we're going to run off to a few other things. And it's just quick stuff. Remember the movie Real Deal or Real Steel with Hugh Jackman?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, with the robots. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I didn't know it, but it made money when it was out. It wasn't a financial flop, but there was no rumblings of a sequel or anything, right? Even though it sounds like he's worked. Sean Levy has been working on Deadpool 3. He's the one directing that one, and they're just curious about if there's ever going to be a follow-up. and he kind of said, yeah, without really giving. He's been working on wanting. They've got the writers. They've hired a writing team for it, and it sounds like it's not going to be a movie, but a Disney Plus show. That's the way I read it.
Okay.
So
that's interesting.
yeah.
I remember the film. I enjoyed the film. You know,
Yeah.
it didn't blow me away. It's not
No.
a film that's particularly memorable, but I enjoyed it to the point where I thought, okay, yeah, if some more of that came along, I'd give it a go. I'd watch it.
Yeah, like I found it entertaining. I think I watched it twice, but I haven't watched it since. So, but Disney Plus, I don't know. It sounds like I don't know what their plan is, because Bob Iger made it sound like they're losing money hand over fist on Plus. They're not making anything, and
always new stuff on Plus. They're making an awful lot of Star Wars stuff, and there's always some new programs. They're always buying the rights to show something. But I just think that the content perhaps isn't really for a broad audience. It all seems to be quite niche. Like I said, there's an awful lot of Star Wars stuff, and it's not all brilliant. So it's not really drawing in anyone other than hardcore Star Wars crowds. And then you've got all the Marvel stuff, which has been disappointing at best for quite a while now. Just doesn't have the draw that it used to have anymore. So this is what happens. You put your subscription up, you're giving people less, or the quality is dropping, and kind of what do you expect? If they spent the money on actually making a fewer good shows, rather than just dropping a large quantity of disappointing TV shows on there, then they might be better off. But it comes as no surprise.
I think it's also, the model was good at the start of having streaming services and you pay for it. Yeah. But I don't think that's actually, the more I think about it and the more time has come by, I think it's not a long-term financial success, because you're depending on people buying subscriptions all the time, right? They have to buy monthly. Where if you're on the regular service where you watch TV and the commercials come up, if your show's a hit, more people go to watch the show, and then more revenue from the commercials and stuff. Here it is, not happening.
This is why you've got people like Netflix and Prime are starting to show you adverts, starting to commercials at the start of the show or in between the show. We'll talk about Fallout a little bit later on. I've been watching that on Amazon Prime, and they show you adverts before the program starts. And in fact, it wasn't Fallout. I was watching Invincible. I was watching Invincible, and they show you two adverts before the program actually starts. It says, Invincible is brought to you ad-free by whatever product it is that they're advertising. It's like, what don't you get about ad-free? It's, fuck me. This was the whole point with streaming services. It was just to give you just undiluted TV shows that you could pick and choose when and where to watch them whenever you wanted. And that was the draw. That's what you pay for. And that's the service that you pay for. But now, because everybody has a streaming service, everything's on a streaming service, it's plateaued out. No one's making more money. Everyone's making the same amount of money, and they're all fighting each other to not lose money, because we're not going to spend any more, because there isn't anything more to spend money on. Everyone's got as many streaming services as they want or they can afford. So no one's going to make more money. The only way they're going to make more money is if they put a subscription service up, but they're in danger of people cancelling, unless they change the content of the subscription service to accommodate that. Or in this case, they just started to show adverts, and all of a sudden, we're all paying extra money for what is essentially now network fucking television, because it just the commercials, and it's either going to get dropped a whole season so you can binge it, or they're going to drop an episode every week like they did with Invincible. And Invincible being a good example, it's literally just like watching network TV. There's commercials, and they drop one episode every week, or they did the season's complete now. But it's like, what's the difference? What's the difference between me watching that or any other network TV channel? Because now I watch one episode per week, and I've got to watch adverts. I've got no choice. But I'm paying Amazon extra every month just so I can watch the fucking show.
Yeah.
So no, the service, that type of service plateaued, and now everyone's scrabbling to try to make more money where there isn't really any more money to be made.
Yeah.
And all that's happening is the service is getting worse, and the prices are getting higher.
Yeah.
So, like you say, it's not sustainable. It is not something that's going to be continuing for very much longer in the way that it is.
Yeah.
Because people are just going to get fed up. People are just going to get stuff.
Well, we'll talk more about Fallout. Yeah, we'll talk more about Fallout, but Fallout's a good example. It's a hit show, but you can only see it on Amazon. But if that hit show, and you get commercials on it, but if you take that hit show and you put it on regular TV, Amazon, let's say Amazon had their own satellite, or not satellite channel, but like your regular TV where you get the package deals, and then they had commercials, they'd be making tons of money, right?
Yes.
So,
and Amazon have probably got the money to do that, to have their own television channel.
Yeah.
And then broadcast sort of 24 hours a day, but schedule programs and have commercials throughout. So it'd probably be worthwhile them doing that. And if you want to take that idea and run with it, then have at it.
Yeah.
So I don't think Amazon. You can have that idea. You can have that for free.
Yeah. It's just that it's like it doesn't make a difference because of that, right? It doesn't make it a difference to us anymore because they have the commercials. So we got to figure them out. It'll be back to days where you buy old VCRs and you record the show so you can skip through the commercials, right? So, as Zack Snyder, I revealed that he was in talks with Leonardo DiCaprio to play Lex Luthor in Batman versus Superman.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I just wonder if we've been hitting on Lois. Is she 18? Oh, yeah. Okay, she's old enough. Is she 20? Oh, that's too old.
Yeah, too old.
Yeah. So, I don't think it would have made the movie any better, but
no, Leonardo DiCaprio is an extremely good actor. He doesn't necessarily appear in all the movies that I would rush out to the cinema and watch, but there's no denying that he's a really good actor. Whether he's fit for a Superman movie, I'm not sure. I think he might be a little more serious than that. I think Nicholas Hoult is Lex Luthor.
Yes, in the new one, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, which I don't think is bad casting, because I saw Renfield a little while ago.
Oh, yeah.
The Dracula movie.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed that. I mean, I've seen Nicholas Hoult in a lot. He was Beast in X-Men. The First Class movies. And I really like him. He has a decent range.
Yeah.
He can be serious, but he can also be a little bit over the top and a little bit silly as well.
Yeah.
Not that that's what I want my Lex Luthor to be.
No.
But I mean, in the context of a comic book movie, I think you can't take yourself too seriously, which I think in some respects is where Zack Snyder's movies went wrong, because he tried to take them too seriously. And then any humour that he did try to put in there just didn't work, because the rest of the tone of the movie didn't accommodate that. Whereas that's the thing that Marvel did get right for the first three phases of CU, is that mix of that light-hearted action, the comedy and then the serious nature of it. But hey, how did we get onto this topic?
Doesn't matter.
Started talking about Lex Luthor. Next thing you know, we're comparing the MCU to Zack Snyder's DCU.
I'm hoping that they play. I hope they play Lex in the new movie as a guy who is the bad guy but doesn't think he's the bad guy. Because I don't think Lex ever thought of himself as the bad guy. He was trying. He wanted to be Superman, and he thought, So
I think depending on which writer you're reading, I think Lex Luthor does not seem. Well, I don't think Lex Luthor ever really sees himself as a bad guy. But depending on how he's been written, he quite often does in fact see himself as the hero of humanity because he feels as if he's protecting the Earth from an alien threat.
Yeah.
So he does not see himself as a bad guy. So I was watching something the other day, and they literally said exactly that. The best bad guys do not think that they're the bad guys, and there is some truth in that. I think that might be a quote from Fallout. All roads lead to Fallout this week, apparently.
Yeah. I like to see a story. I always want to see a story where the bad guy is not a bad guy. I hope they explain this right. It's like, when you think of bad, there's something wrong with him mentally or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing wrong with him. He's not mental. He's not crazy. It's just his view on things are so different, and he's just like, I don't think like Thanos came off as a bad guy, but his theory of what he wanted to do was, he just wanted the level the field and have not strip everything down to survive. They would get overpopulated, just like they say the Earth isn't, but there's too many people and little resources, and the resources weren't replenishing themselves. So the only theory was, he says, it's not something I want to do, but it needs to be done, right? He didn't look at it that way. Yeah.
No, he was trying to ensure the survival of the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was his plan. That was the only reason he was doing it, not because he wanted to kill a lot of people.
Yeah.
Or because he wanted to cause a lot of misery. His goal was to ensure the survival of the universe. And that, on paper, if you just said, so like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I ensure the survival of the universe. You think, oh, he sounds like a good guy. And how do you plan on doing that? Because I'm going to kill billions and billions of people. Oh, shit. Well, all of a sudden, you don't sound like a good guy.
Yeah. But the thing, he wasn't going, okay, well, I'm going to pick that race. I'm going to pick that race. It was just you 50-50 chance. That's what it was, right? Roll the dice. And it wasn't just one race or one thing. It was everybody. But anyways, yeah. So, I don't know. It's probably been done. I just haven't noticed it. But sometimes I always feel like bad guys are already written like they're insane. There's something mentally wrong with them. But anyways,
if you're just very basic action movies like revenge thrillers, bad guys are very sort of one-dimensional in that respect. They are just bad guys, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's like if you're watching something like an Equalizer film. They're just criminals. They're just bad guys.
Yeah.
They're selfish people who are hurting other people for money and profit. And they are bad guys, and they probably don't think that they're the good guys. But yeah, there's the best bad guys have always got that extra layer of complexity to them.
Yeah.
And that you kind of you're more invested in the bad guy as well as you are the good guy.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, Michael Douglas, he said he'd be back to come back for another Ant-Man movie if there's going to be one. But he says the only caveat is that you have to kill him off. He doesn't want his character to. And he said, and it was actually planned for the third movie.
Right.
So, yeah. So he says, getting killed off actually was my request for the third one. I said I'd like to have a serious death with all those great special effects. There's got to be some fantastic way where I can shrink to an ant size and explode whatever it is. I want to use those effects, but that would be the last one. I don't think I'm going to show up for the fourth, which he doesn't have to worry about because they canceled any other movies.
Yeah,
yeah. But I don't know about the size of an ant and see him explode. I don't know how that would work, but
yeah, that might not be a serious death. That might just be funny.
Yeah. especially if you're just running around and steps on them, right? Yeah, it's like, oh fuck, you got an ant's death almost. You got stepped on.
It's what he would have wanted.
Or some kid with a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
Anyways, Ripley Scott's 1979 sci-fi horror classic is going back into theaters for a limited run on April 26th.
Alien.
Yep, the first one. Now, I don't know. My first exposure to that was in a drive-in theater, watching the movie, and then when the alien popped out of the John Hurt's chest, is it? I fucking jumped and hit my head on the roof of the car. It scared the fuck out of me so much.
My first exposure to that was on the sofa in our living room when my mum and dad had it on VHS.
Yeah.
Why they decided to show me Alien at that age, I have no idea. But it terrified me. From the point where it burst out of John Hurt's chest, I think I spent the rest of the evening just hiding behind a cushion. Without watching it.
Yeah.
I did just so they let me watch Alien. They let me watch The Exorcist as well. I mean, who does that? Who in the right mind does that? If you show a child of that age films like Exorcist and Alien these days, then social services would get involved, and you could probably prosecuted for some child endangerment or something. I don't know, but it hasn't stopped me from enjoying the movie going forwards. It really is excellent, and I think we might have spoken about this previously, but I have the director's cut version, which has an audio commentary by Ridley Scott, which is actually very interesting. It gives very good audio commentaries. But I also listened to the one for Black Hawk Down fairly recently. And if you've got any interest at all in about how the pudding is made, he really goes into detail about choices of how to film something or shoot something, or how he uses cameras, or what he gets the actors doing, and so on. And they really are quite interesting. Some of the techniques that he uses when he was filming Alien was really groundbreaking. That and Blade Runner as well, another groundbreaking science fiction movie that he's responsible for. I'm not sure I'll go and watch it in the cinema because I've seen it so many times. I don't think I need the big screen experience because I know every twist and turn of that movie. I know. But if anyone's got any interest in it whatsoever, I can highly recommend watching it with Ridley Scott's audio commentary on, because you'll learn an awful lot about it.
Now, I haven't watched that movie in a long time. I think I've watched Aliens more than I've watched Alien. So, but
I prefer Aliens. But by the by, did you see that thing on the internet a little while ago about Alien? And at the end, when Ripley's just wearing a tiny little pair of pants and like a vest top.
Yeah.
And the story was that Ridley Scott wanted her to sort of like pull the pants up a little bit because she was sort of a little bit too much bush, and she wouldn't. So they had to wait and rush it out of the final cut so that you could
yeah,
the top of the pants. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like you got a little hairy guy coming out there instead of an alien there. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh fuck!
Think there's a face that could crawling out from there.
There's a title for the show: Little Hairy Bush.
We're not going with Fallout then.
Oh.
In fact, you could tie the two in together.
Fallout. Well, yeah.
Little hairy bush and falling out. It's we can marry those two together.
Just I won't cut this out, but just because we're using the recording, sometimes when you start to talk, I don't hear you. I think it's trying to catch up. So it's working fine, right? But it's just trying to catch up at times, and we can't talk over to each other too much because of that. So it really sucks.
Yeah, I'll try to bear that in mind.
That's
the problem with living so far away.
Yeah, I know. Actually, side note, my ex, she asked if I had ever planned on going back to visit, and I said I don't know. I said the pound's pretty, our dollar to pound is pretty rough now, and I said if it'd only be 2 weeks, I'd probably just be somewhere close to your area, and just around there because it's fuck a lot more.
That's the moving around.
Yeah. So, this might interest. I don't know. You know who Cheech and Chong are, right? You gotta know who Cheech and Chong. Okay.
Oh yes.
Well, in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, they've added Cheech and Chong to the game.
I think I saw that. Yeah, that was.
Did you?
What a weird choice.
I know.
Those characters don't lend themselves to being soldiers in Call of Duty, do they?
No. It's like that they started off and the clip I saw was the one they're in their Jeep, whatever, right? Their military Jeep.
Yeah.
Okay, hey man, are we moving? No, I think we're stopped, man.
It's a make for a better sort of comedy show, that really.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Rather than
Then they
actual-
run into Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg's in it as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I played that every now and again. I play the zombies mode on Call of Duty 3. Modern Warfare 3 every now and again. And they had some Warhammer 40,000 character skins in there.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going a long time. I used to enjoy playing Warhammer 40,000, so that appealed to me.
Mm.
But that fits in with the whole Call of Duty thing. You know, Space Marines in Call of Duty. Okay, yeah, works for me. In fact, speaking of Space Marines, just put some of the Colonial Space Marines in from Aliens into Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I'll be all over that.
Oh, they put
Yes,
Cheech
please.
and Chong. Come on, yeah, why not, right?
Yeah. I mean, who plays Hudson?
Yeah.
Game over, man.
Yeah. I know. That would be interesting. So a couple things. I was just grabbing stuff off the net on the side here. There was a rumor going around, and it's a good rumor. I kind of like it. Sydney Sweeney they're saying maybe may have a chance to play Black Cat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which I mean, no one's gonna. They'll only remember. Like, from what I understand the movie, when she's in Madam Web, she's only there for a little bit, right? So,
I've seen it.
So
I haven't even read much about it. I'm very little interested in that movie.
Yeah, no, but I think she's built like Black Cat from the comic book, blonde hair, big bazookas.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the first two things. Yeah, just the fitting, but and if it was with Marvel, at least it'd be a little bit better than Sony's. And maybe people would forget. I mean, it can be done because Chris Evans did it. He played the Fantastic Four and then became Captain America. So there's no reason why it can't be done. But it's just rumblings. But anyways, it would be interesting to see.
Sounds more like fan casting than anything else, but I wouldn't be against seeing a Black Cat in a Marvel Spider-Man movie.
Because everything I've been hearing that they want to make it more grounded, and she's a grounded character, right? She's not flying and stuff like that.
That's right. Yeah, because we're short of a character like that now that there's no
other stuff about it. But what? Oh, just a couple things I've watched on TV. What is it? Miracle Workers. It's an old show with.
Who said that? It's Daniel Radcliffe.
Yes, I hadn't watched it, but I just watched the first series, and actually I enjoyed it. He's taking care of wishes or prayers in the first episode. He's up in God.
Like in heaven, Steve Buscemi's God.
It's God.
That's right. Yeah.
And
I think there's 3 or 4 series of that. I think 3 seasons maybe.
Yeah, there's 4 seasons.
Round.
Yeah.
4. Right. Yeah. It starts better than it finishes, unfortunately.
All right.
As with most things, they try to sort of like extend it by. You can tell when they get in a bit short of ideas. It's like someone's come to them with some money, said make more, and then make more, and then make more, and it's like fuck, we've told all our jokes, we've told our story, but here's a bag of money, better make something, and then they just sort of have a go at it. It's like, oh shit, no, that's terrible. Yeah. So sorry to burst anyone's bubble, burst your bubble if you were looking forward to watching more of it. There will come a point where you'll think, nah, I'm out. It's not funny anymore.
Well, I'll probably watch it to the end because I know there's 4 seasons and it's done, right? So I'll go all the way through the end. So I know I don't have to. Oh, okay, maybe I'll watch season 5. But if it's just 4, I'll go through it all.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, I finished watching V fairly recently because I'd heard you and Scott talking about it, and it's on Sky Comedy over here. And I've never watched it, never seen it. And there's 7 seasons, I think, something like that. And they're quite short seasons, like 10 or so episodes per season. So I thought, well, we'll give that a go. And it's really good. It is really, really good. But you get to the back end and you think, this is not the show that it started as. It's it does dip a little bit. But then the final season just seems to end rather abruptly. And it's like, oh my God. So it starts off, the final season starts by thinking, wow, this is, who thought of this? Where's this plot come from? And then it just ends very suddenly. And it's like, well, somebody pulled the plug. So game was no surprise. But the point is, it's a shame when that happens to TV shows that you enjoy. Ones that start off really strong. I mean, look how often it happens. I mean, even Game of Thrones. Even Game of Thrones, the way that ended compared to the way that it started, it's just such a shame that it all kind of comes down to money, I think, doesn't it? That's all it is.
Well,
like,
Game of Thrones was the books weren't finished, and the guys didn't know how to do a finish. That's what the story I heard.
Well, that is true. That is true because George R.R. Martin hasn't finished the series of books. He hasn't actually told the end of the story. So they did run out of source material. However, there are other good writers. Just because George R.R. Martin hasn't provided with source material, you should still be able to find a writer that can tell a good story. But it just, the way that it finished was like, oh, well, seriously? Oh, wow. And yeah, quality bits. And you could really tell the point where they ran out of the source material, but the people who were writing it just didn't have the ability to maintain that standard, unfortunately.
Yeah. So,
but I mean, having said that, House of the Dragon, which is coming back in a couple of months, that seems really good, and that is just based upon the lore of Game of Thrones, but that's pretty good. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think because they're creating their own start, they're creating their own finish, right? So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, hopefully it'll be better.
Yeah. So what else? I can't remember something. Nell. It was on. I should have wrote it down. I didn't think it was going to talk about. That's why I don't remember the name. But
I think on Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's it called? I think she's a pirate. Is she or something, or a highwayman?
Well, she was married to a soldier, and he died, and she come back, and she's dressed like a man, but she's under protection, something from him. I don't know what from. So when she's in trouble, where she might get hurt, it's called a pixie or a fairy enters her, and suddenly she's got these superhuman strength and that. And actually, I found it very entertaining. I didn't think I would, but it is. So it's and the lead is from a show, Sex Education, and in that show, like she's just a skinny, I'll say it, unappealing character to me. And then in this show, it's like a total 180. Like to me, suddenly shows, oh, she can act better than she did in the Sex Education. But I've watched 2 episodes. I'll watch the rest. I'm not rushing to watch them, but I do enjoy them. So, and I mean the rest of the stuff I can't even remember what I watched because I'm just putting stuff on for background noise. So I can't really give you a discussion other than Fallout, which we'll get to. But that's it for a little bit of news. But I thought maybe okay, we'll go on to your comicsology, the rant.
Yeah, well, the last time we spoke, or after the last time we recorded a show, you asked me to try and bring a couple of comic book reviews for this particular show. So I thought, yeah, because I don't feel like I've been reading much for quite a while now, so I'm going to make the time. So, as reported a little while ago, Amazon bought Comixology, and then they announced that they're going to be closing down, but it was all going to be run through Kindle. Well, we're kind of there now, and it's just I don't know what they were thinking because Comixology was so good for people like me, and you've been over, you've stayed with me for a few days. You know where I live in relation to everywhere else in the country.
Yeah,
and I am miles away. But even the comic book stores, the closest ones, the decent ones in Manchester city centre, aren't great. So I really do. I relied on Comixology to just regularly just browse new releases, to find new comic books, independent comic books, and just keep on top of regular reading. It's just so hard now. It's just so hard. So I went onto Kindle, and all I wanted to do was just browse that week's new releases. I just wanted to see everything that had come out that week, and it would not find a way of doing it. Now, there might be a way of doing it. There might be someone listening to this at home now and who's shouting at the internet and saying, "You're a fucking idiot. All you need to do is this, 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 and this." Well, and yeah, maybe, but I couldn't readily find out how to do it, and that's wrong. If it's not obvious, if it's not simple, if you can't easily find the week's new releases, then your search engine is fundamentally bullshit. Because if you want to sell people something, you have to make it easy for them to find it. And I could not find a way of having a list of all that week's comic book releases. You can find a list of recent releases that are just generalized, which it chucks in books and things like that as well. It's like, I don't want that. I don't want recent releases because it throws all sorts in there.
Yeah.
I want this week's releases. I want what came out today, and I want a single list of it that I can easily just bring up and go down. I can just scroll through a list of everything that came out today, so I can find out what's new, so that I can pick out something and I can start reading a series. I can favorite it, I can go back, and so on and so on. I just can't do it, and it really, really annoyed me because I thought it's too hard now. It's too difficult for somebody like me to read comic books, and that is so bad for the industry. Amazon are killing the comic book industry in that respect because they're making it so hard for people to buy them. It's so hard for people to find comics and buy them. It's like you started life as a fucking bookshop. Amazon started life as a bookseller, and I want to read something and I can't find it on your website because you've made it so fucking difficult to actually just browse a selection of things that I'm interested in, that I want to look at. I just thought, you know what, fuck this. So I closed down the app, and that's more or less me done with buying comics online because it's so hard. I've still got, hopefully, my library transferred over to Kindle, so I can still access the stuff that I've already bought.
Yeah.
But just buying something new now, it's more trouble than it's worth. I just thought, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
So that's me out. So you've lost comics fan because it's too hard for me to keep on top of reading comic books now because Amazon have made it so fucking difficult for me to shop for them. So fuck you.
There isn't a section like it says science. So if they had like, so there isn't like a science fiction, fantasy, or it's just comics. They don't have one like that.
No, that's the perfect world, isn't it? I just want to click on comics. Just show me comics. Show me comics. 6 weeks comics. Show me comics by release date. Comixology used to do that. Why they've broken Comixology down, and all they had to do was just take off the Comixology title banner and slap Amazon on it. But if they'd left it exactly the same, it would have been fine. Because every week you can go on to Comixology and you can sort by release date. And you can just search what came out on such and such a date or what came out that week. And then you can filter it to show you alphabetical. You can filter it to show you by publisher. You can filter it by writer. You could there were so many options to make it easy for you to find what you were interested in. But you just cannot do that on the Kindle app. You cannot do that via Amazon. It's just, why wouldn't you? Why would you not just leave it as it is? There was nothing wrong with Comixology at all. But they've just ripped it apart. They've just ripped out its heart, stabbed it with a pencil, thrown it in the bin, and then just get it out onto the Kindle app and left it to die. And it really is upsetting. So what it means now is I'm going to have to go back to buying trade paperbacks.
That's what I was just going to ask. You said that.
Yes. So I'm going to have to start doing that, which means that I won't be reading anything regularly. Once every couple of months, then I might pick up a trade paperback, and then I'll have something to talk about for a couple of hours, and then that'll be me done for another few months until something else comes out that I'm interested in. So I'm interested in the Tom King Wonder Woman series. So the first trade of that comes out in July, I think. So, but talking about, it's like we're in fucking April, and the trade paperback comes out in July. So I'm going to wait an extra 2 or 3 months before I can read the first 6 issues of the Wonder Woman story. So it's like, thanks Amazon.
So what is your main source? Is Marvel and DC?
Yeah, pretty much. But the thing is that if it was easier to browse comic books, then I would easily be able to just sort of browse a selection of independent comic book releases. But now, because I'm only going to be making my way into a comic book store like once every couple of months, more or less. And how many independent book regularly published trade paperbacks of their work, or how will I find out whether I should be looking out for something or whether I should be reading something? So I'm pretty much just going to be reading sort of DC and Marvel. So that's not great for the independent comic book industry.
I just wonder if you can just go to Marvel and DC, or are they all through Amazon? You can't just go to Marvel and DC to buy your books.
Now, if I'm being honest, I haven't tried recently, but the Marvel and the DC apps they only provided limited functionality in the UK, whereas you can use the app to sort of like buy and read comic books and other things. They only had limited functionality in the UK, which is why I started using Comixology. Because when I started browsing for digital comics, I went straight to the source. I went straight to Marvel, I went straight to DC. But you couldn't actually use all the features of the app and buy and download and read comic books. But Comixology was phenomenal because literally everything was on there, and it was easy to find, it was easy to buy, it's easy to read. And now that's all gone. That's a push. I might have to go and start reading 2000 AD again.
Well, it's too bad we got an abundance of comic book stores in Edmonton. I mean, you can't go to one side of the city without running into at least one. There's so many of them around. So
that's just crazy. I know, and we struggle so much. I don't know whether you noticed it when you were walking around London, but there's very few in London as well. There's a massive But that's all sort of pop toys and Star Wars and models and goodness knows what else. Very, very few.
There was only one store. I can't remember the name of it now, but it was a big store. I think you mentioned it to me, but name of the store, but it was the only one that had like everything in it, like books, comic books, all the pop stuff and stuff like that. It was a huge store. You had to go down in the basement for the comics and stuff. And
yeah, I think that's Forbidden Planet. But I bet it.
Yeah, I think that
comprehensive as the comic book store that you go to every week.
Yeah. So this was my store. My store is. That's the difference. He doesn't rely on any of that pop stuff or anything like that. He just sells comics and CGC created books and no pop figures unless someone orders it. He has the statues you can get, right? He has a few of those. But no, it's if you saw the comic book I store, you'd probably blow your mind because it is just comics. He doesn't do anything else. So
I missed that. There was a store in Manchester that I used to go to, not the one that I took you to. It changed store inventory.
Yeah.
It's the last time I went. A completely different store, which closed down a long time ago. And you'd walk down some steps to get into it. It was literally just comic books. And the guy who owned it was a comic book fan. And you could go in and you could talk to him about comics and you could talk to the other people in the store about comics. And I really miss that sort of environment where you just turn up and you just like see all the similar faces. Every time you go in and you have conversations. Did you read this? This is really cool. Try that. And, you know, that's kind of what it's all about. That's kind of what the culture is all about. So I've been missing out on that for quite some time now. And now they're just making it even harder for me to continue with this part of what I enjoy doing. So it's kind of a shame.
I'll say I might have some pictures. I might send you, or I'll take some pictures and send them to the shop.
Yes, you must do. Yeah. Because I've heard you. Well, you used to record at the comic book store all the time. I've always been curious to know what it was like because I can't picture it because I've never seen it.
Yeah.
So next time you go, take some photos. That'd be quite interesting.
It's not a big store, but it's packed with comic books. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got so many books. He has him and his partner. They run an online store, and they've got one of those rental place. You could buy a shed. I can't remember the property. You rent the shed. You put all your shit in it, right?
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
The storage place.
Yeah, storage place. And they've got one of those or two of those where they have to put all their comic books in. Because they have so many. And then he's got crap in the back of the store. But he gets compliments on a lot of people, even from people from down in Calgary that come up. And they said, this is great. There's nothing like that in Calgary, right? So, but just in case if you're going to go to trades, and I'm going to recommend a couple because I don't know when they'll come out and trade, but is the Aliens from Marvel. They're doing a What If series.
Oh, right, okay.
And this is the What If series is Burke on the attack.
Something about that. Yeah, that caught my attention because I thought, what if Burke survived? That'd be really interesting. Yeah. I would like to read that story. Yeah.
So he survived, he gets back to Earth, and his life is ruined because the corporation puts everything on him. It's his fault. Everything's fault. Yeah. And so it's just him trying to get on with his life. And the very last page, he has this guy, I think it's a synth, but they're standing over an egg. He's much older, and he's found an egg, and I think he has plans to do something not right with it, right? To get back at all the people that wronged him. So I'll leave it at that. So that you can put that on your list. There's a new series coming out. It's from Ghost Machine, and I think I have talked about this before. There are 4 or 5 comics, but the writers are a lot of Jeff Johns, Brian Hitch, they've started up this own series. It's going to be kind of linked. See, now I got to change glasses because I can't see with these. I can see. I have to use these ones for the screen and one to read with. Son of a bitch. All right, Jesus.
Glasses.
Yeah. So some of these
screens and a real pair.
Yeah. So I'll screw up somebody like Brian Anderson, Jason Fabok, Gary Frank, Brian Hish, Jeff Johns, Rob Lee, Lambert McGee, Francis Manipal, Brad Metzler, Ivan Reese, Peter Sennenberg, Peter J. Thomas, and Martel Zook. So these are a lot of established writers and artists, right? They've come out to create this series. So the ones that they came out with a book called Geiger. It was like a big story mix. They showed interest in a bunch of these characters, and then they did another one the same sort of way where they introduced to these guys. So the first ones I got, the first one was Redcoat, and basically this story takes place in the Americas just at the time of the Revolutionary War, where they're trying to separate from England, and the concept is that George Washington and some of the other founding fathers are into dealing with black magic, and that's how they were winning the war. And this guy Redcoat is basically, he didn't get drafted. He was told he was going, right? There was no draft. There's nothing like that. He just, okay, guess what? Guess where you're going? Here you go. But he's a bit of a coward, a scoundrel, and not a very good person. But he's hiding in this barn, and there's a ceremony going on. And Ben Franklin's about to get whatever's going on. He's going to start to join the cult of the other founding fathers so they can get this magic. Well, he's in there, and he says one of his problems, besides being a coward, is being too damn nosy. So he kind of sees what's going on. He looks on. He doesn't know what's happening. As he's looking in, the leans going on. They're casting the spell, and Franklin's all lined up to take whatever he's supposed to get. He falls into it. It falls into the projection of the spell, and then he's immortal. He dies, but he said he wakes up like 6 or 7 hours later. He says he's become very good at digging himself out of graves. So he said he died like 3 or 4 times the first time, and then he just kept waking up, and then he can get out of graves now, and he just becomes a mercenary. Basically, he's constantly famished. He has to eat all the time, and so it's just him taking jobs so he get enough money so he can eat, because he constantly has to eat. Yeah. So that I really enjoyed this one. It has a bit of comedy. The end of the book, I don't know how they're setting this up, because he runs into a young Albert Einstein in America. So I don't know how that works, because Albert was a German, if I believe right, or Austrian or something like that. But
I think he might be Austrian or something like that. Yeah.
So I don't know how he got into the States. The other book is Geiger itself. This was the very first one that was created, character, I believe. And it's about a guy at the, it's World War III happens. His family's in a shelter. He stays out, and for some reason he becomes eradicated. And they call him the glowing man, because the radiation is just glowing off him all the time. And just what he has to go through in life, he's trying to, through the first series of books, he's protecting his family in the shelter. But gradually find out, he's been alive for a long time and they haven't. So he runs into a scientist that builds these 2 rods that he wears that sucks in the radiation, and he holds it so he can walk around and do stuff. But when he takes it off, that's basically a superpower. I don't want to go into detail because it's setting up. They're going on and they're trying to. The scientist says he knows someone that might be able to help him, or knows that someone else is like him. There's another glowing man, so they're on the process. So if you go back, you'll find other stories showing that it was in uh, New Vegas sort of thing. Let's say like Fallout, right? Where there's a Vegas is a little community, and in that community, there certain areas of like Excalibur, I think that's the name of the hotel in Vegas. They're looking and they run just like old knights and stuff in that and the other characters. So again, it's starting up. He has a two-headed dog he rescued. So it's not a whole much more good, but the stories I find it very interesting. It's just something totally new and different, right? At least for me, it's something different other than the regular superhero stuff.
At this moment in time, I think that sort of thing is quite popular because of the Fallout TV show.
Yeah.
Sort of radiation and that apocalypse type thing. Guys, yeah.
And then another one's called Rook Exodus, and this takes place. There's a Earth is just falling apart, and this corporation went to a planet and they had machinery to convert it to an Earth-like environment, except it was going to be fresh and clean and plenty of places to live and land to farm, basically. Back to when Earth used to be nice and polite and stuff. It's basically like that, a paradise at one time. Well, what happens is the machine breaks down. It starts to revert back to where it was. The company's not going to fix the machine, and now there's a mass exodus to get off the planet back to Earth, which really is just as bad as staying there. And there are a certain group of people that I can't remember the name of them, but they were basically like wardens. I think that's it. They're called wardens, and they had a special helmet, and they were trained. So if you wore this one lady, she wears a wolf helmet. She's be able to communicate with all the wolves. The one guy, he can control all the wild boar, all the wild pigs. The one is the main guy is I think it's Rook is the he controls all the blackbirds. And
they control the wolves.
Oh yeah. And then this one guy they run into, he controls all the mutated bears, all the animals that they brought because of the everything the planet going back to is. They've started to mutate on the planet, just not mutate as three-headed bears or something. They get bigger and larger, and they're Rook is trying to get off the planet. There's not a lot of resources left. They showed one ship taking off, and he said this is like a 50-50 chance of getting off the planet, but they take it because and the ship explodes and crashes down. And then there's tribes that are any like thing when it reverts back. You've got your tribes, right? And so they're all fighting each other for. There's three of them. That the lady is the wolf, the guy is the pig, and then Rook. They're friends, but there's other ones that are other wardens that decided they're going to take over and rule. It's another one I really enjoyed. So far, the 3 books I've read are really good, and I really enjoy reading them. There's another one coming out, Junkyard Joe. That was a robot that was first set on the Vietnam, and gradually he's just supposed to be a robot, but he starts to have feelings, and because he has empathy for. He met a friend in Vietnam, and it becomes attached to him. And the guy after he from there, years pass, and the guy that he became a cartoon artist and created this Junkyard Joe cartoon strip. And Joe comes to find him, but then the military wants him back because it's military property. And So there's that one. There's a group of family that had been replaced in time. They've gone backwards in time because someone in the future is after them. So it's a family. There's another one within
Is it like an anthology book? Is it all just like on different characters, different story?
Yeah, there's
Or
different stories.
book?
They're different. They have their own books.
Yeah.
But I think somehow they're going to be linked together, right? Because they show a timeline for each one in the back of the book of what's happening this and this.
Yeah.
There's another one where they take. There's an. I have this. I'm going off the top of my head now. Some of these. There's a family. They're raising angels and devil children, but they're swapped. So the family that's really good, angel, they're raising a devil child, and the angel child is being raised by the devil, and it's also like a social experiment. Will their environment change them to be who they are? Are they destined to be who they be, or will environment change them into something else? I think there's another one. There's another one I can't remember. This one takes the character is a Union soldier, and I don't remember what that one is though. But there's a book, I think 6 books altogether, and they're started up. And I said to my dealer, I call him at the comic book shop, I said, "Fuck!" I says, I'm just getting ready to slow down, and all of a sudden these other fucking books come up, and I gotta get them. And he just laughs at me. So you don't have to. He says, "No, I know I don't have to, but damn, it looks so damn interesting."
Yeah.
So,
This is it. Wanting to counts for a lot. You don't have to. But if you want to, there's no better reason.
Yeah, and I just I put them on my pull list. So I recommend the first 3 that I've got are all written by Jeff Johns. So he's a busy man. He's a busy man.
Oh, he is. Wow. Well, I mean, that's that sort of recommendation enough, really, isn't it? Someone like Jeff Johns writing stories like that.
Yeah.
It just makes such a difference from all the usual superhero nonsense, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like you can only take superheroes so long. Oh, is that sorry?
Yeah. And when you've got someone like Jeff Johns who's writing, then you're more inclined to try it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, this looks different. Well, it's written by Jeff Johns. He knows how to write stories.
Yeah.
So give him a go.
Yeah. And it's just like you can only do so much with superheroes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, they were great in the time, but actually, they've. I mean, how many times have they rebooted books or changed characters or get rid of characters or have someone coming in or change the timeline because there's only so much you can do with these characters, right?
Look at that. I mean, look, I don't think anyone's been through more changes than the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of over the X-Men at the moment. I'm just like, I just can't. I just can't with the X-Men.
I picked up X-Men #1. Sorry, Ultimate X-Men. Was not impressed. Wasn't impressed.
Right.
Yeah. So I just the Ultimate Spider-Man. That's good. If you there's another recommendation for you when they come out with the trade. The Ultimate Spider-Man. I ain't really enjoying that one. I haven't picked up. I don't know who either, but Black Panther, Ultimate Black Panther. I never picked it up because I really wasn't interested in the character. Nothing to do with whoever writing it or anything. It's just not a character I kind of into. What was it? I don't know if there's any more than just those 3. Maybe they do an Ultimate Avengers. I'll have to check into that. But some of those I don't like. Ultimate Spider-Man, I don't put on my pull list because they're always going to have shit in the stand, right? So. But there you go.
Just reserve it.
Yeah.
Plenty of recommendations there.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I might be able to make a trip over to a comic book store as early as next week. So see what they've got on the stand.
Yeah. But you know, with the What If one, that would be one for you to wait and get in a trade because it's only going to be like 5 or 6 issues, right?
would imagine. So that'd be a good trade paperback book.
Yeah.
That would just a self-contained story. Yeah, definitely.
No, that'd be a good one to get. So that's, I mean, a little bit of comic review, me and the way I mumble about it. Not as articulate as you and Scott were, but, you know, I get it across. Basically, it says they're good books. Buy them, read them, you have fun, you know?
That counts as a review.
Yeah.
What more do you need to say?
What do you need
This
to
is what
say?
the book's about. I
Yeah.
liked it. I think you should read it. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
That's it. It boils down to the
All the
book.
rest of it is just
It
me
doesn't-
mumbling. I should do that.
Yeah.
With my review is like, buy it, mumble, 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 mumble. I liked it. Buy it. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, this show only needs to be about 3 minutes long, doesn't it? It's just have a list of comic books.
Yeah.
Ultimate Spider-Man. Buy it.
Yeah, buy it, and then
Black
also
Buy it.
TV show, liked it, watch it. You know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's right.
Um.
Speaking
but,
of which. Well,
yeah. Oh, you know what? You know something we didn't talk about last time? Do you have any game reviews or anything to talk about in the gaming industry? I know one time you wanted to talk about some games or something.
Oh, yeah. Last time we recorded, I was going to talk about something. What was it? You know, I opened up the app. I usually, before I start recording, or on knowing that we're going to be recording, start making a list on. I've got like a Google Keep.
Yep.
Because you can just open it up on your phone or your tablet or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just put some things on that list. The list that I made the last time we spoke, I have no idea where that is. Absolutely no idea. When we finished recording, I remember saying that I had so much to talk about, and I have no idea where that list is. I have no idea. So I can't remember what I was going to talk about last time, which was a shame because when we finished, it's like, all right, I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah.
I just can't remember what it was because it was a while ago now. And oh no, but I can't think what it might have been. Anyway,
well, we can. Slowly talk it. We'll get into Fallout and use the games.
Yeah.
But the thing here, before we start that, okay.
Yeah.
You've got both the Xbox and the PS5, right? I still can't bring myself to justify to spend the much money. You're a gamer. You play a lot of games, right? Yeah.
I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. So I don't play as much as I used to. So I was talking to my son about this. Is that I can't justify myself buying. It costs like $600 here for the PS5.
Wow.
Okay. For a system I'm not going to use that much. Like I don't use it for all the apps, you know, like Netflix and Prime and stuff like that. I basically just use it for games. So I was looking at the Xbox, the one that we can get it for about $350 here. So, and one reason because I haven't a PlayStation 3. So if I've had to bought a Fallout New Vegas, I could play it on it. But with the Xbox, it's in their library, and I could just play it there download it onto my Xbox, and then do it that way.
Yeah, you've still got your Game Pass subscription, then you can play it for free on there. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't renewed it, but it'd be one where because I believe if this is correct, that if I downloaded the game and it say pay for 3 months and I stop, nothing happens to the game. It still stays there. I just pay for another pass and go on, right?
Yeah, that's right. It'll store your progress. It'll save your game data onto the cloud. So just because you're not playing it, it's like, for example, I recently started playing New Vegas, Fallout New Vegas again. It's years since I've played New Vegas. I don't know what Xbox I had when I started playing it, but my game is still saved I can still just load it up and start playing from the point where I stopped. So just because I haven't owned it or because I've changed the console or whatever, Xboxes are really good that way in that they save all your game data indefinitely.
Yeah. Okay.
But in
Well,
most cases, so yeah, you can just play it whenever you start your subscription again.
So I'm thinking of maybe leaning into maybe getting the Xbox, just the basic one, because I'm not going to use it for a lot of stuff other than maybe Fallout and maybe a couple other games that you can't get. Especially now Bethesda's supposed to be Xbox exclusive, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, for the most part. I mean, it remains to be seen because Xbox has just started releasing some of the games on the PlayStation, which is another controversy which I really can't give a shit about. But yeah, the big thing about the Bethesda games is that most of them are in Game Pass now because Microsoft own Bethesda. So if you really wanted to get into playing some Fallout games, then getting Game Pass is the best way to go about it.
Yeah. Well, I think probably the unless we go somewhere else like we usually do, the rest of the talk will be about Fallout and stuff like that. But anyways, I had Fallout on the PS4, but I had the disc. I moved. I can't find a disc, so I couldn't play it. So I went to the PlayStation store. I figured I read stuff that says all your saves will be on the cloud, so you don't have to worry about it. So I bought it. It was like only like $7 Canadian for the Fallout 4. So I bought it, got a thing. But when I went to play it, some of the information didn't work. So it was some of my files were corrupted.
Right. Yeah. The PlayStation service isn't as good as the Xbox service. I've found that.
Yeah.
Some games you have to manually upload your data. And now just to complicate things, I do share my library with my youngest son. And that has an effect. Not all games will upload the save data to the cloud automatically. But it will do it manually. Sometimes I remember and sometimes I don't. So I had the same issue. I was playing Fallout 4 on my PlayStation 4. Sold the PlayStation 4, got a PlayStation 5. Now I didn't play yes, because I got a digital PlayStation 5, so I couldn't play the Fallout 4 disc. So I had to buy Fallout 4, but there was no game data. There was no game data in the cloud at all. All the game that was on the PlayStation 4 that I'd sold. So I had to start playing Fallout 4 from scratch. But it's much better for saving and uploading and downloading save data. It just works. That's the big reason why I like Xbox, is because the service to the customer, it just seems to be more seamless. It just seems to be easier to use. It's just better. Playing it online, starting chat groups, just using different consoles. I mean, across generations as well. So I'm very fortunate and also very stupid because I spend a lot of money on this game and stuff. But you know, I'm fortunate that I can. But that's mainly because the kids have grown up and moved out, and I don't smoke. I don't really drink. I don't go out and spend a lot of money on anything else. So I've got an Xbox Series X and I've got an Xbox Series S, which is downstairs in the living room, and I've got a PlayStation 5 and I've got a Nintendo Switch and so on and so on. Because I do like it as a hobby, but I digress. So the point is that I can, the Xbox Series X is up here in my little man cave, and I play that on this TV I've got right in front of me. And then if the wife's out at work or she's out in the evening or something, and I want to sit in the comfy chair downstairs, I pop on the Xbox Series S. And whatever I've been playing on the X, the game just transfers seamlessly. The data just transfers seamlessly. I don't have to do anything. It's just there. It just works. It's waiting for me when I fire it up and start playing it. And it's just so easy and it's reliable. And I like that. So Xbox gets a lot of shit for not being as good as PlayStation in respect of the games that are on the system. But depending on the type of game that you're playing, it's like there's a lot of games you can are the same between Xbox and PlayStation. Third-party like Ubisoft games, Bethesda games up till this point, and so on. You can get them on Xbox and PlayStation. So if that's what you want to play, it's easier on an Xbox. If you're likely to have multiple consoles, or you're going to you don't play very often, your game will just be there waiting.
Yeah.
And all the back compatibility of the gameplay and the Game Pass stuff on the Xbox as well just really sort of like suits me. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I may check into it more when I get back from Japan. See what my finances are like. The other thing is with the place I'm living at, the wiring's old, and there's only one. They have one breaker for all the wiring down here. So once in a while, if I have too much going, my breaker goes. So it's almost like I've got a. I don't know. It's sometimes I wish I was home where I could plug in shitload of stuff and not worry about it. But anyways, that is what it is.
But you were playing Xbox on your television. Is that?
Nah, I didn't.
Really an option? Is the internet not very good?
No, it's like I don't have it. If I was straightly plugged into the internet, I think it'd be better. But I'm Wi-Fi because of where I'm at. I don't have an actual hot box where I can plug in a bunch of different connections and plug in, right?
Yeah.
And then with that, because I don't have an Xbox, I have to wait in queue in line for an opening. And
I see.
And if it's, if the kids ain't here, and my Wi-Fi connection's stronger, right? So I don't know. I mean, I can always go buy another pass and try it on the. Because if I'm playing it through the TV, and then I get an Xbox, all my information will be saved in the cloud, right?
Yep.
So I can just
That's
download.
right. Yeah, because it's the same Xbox accounts. If you use the same Xbox account to log into your TV and log into the Xbox, it'll just transfer your saves.
Yeah.
You're still stored in the cloud. It'll just transfer
I just like it that it's quicker and I'm not waiting, right? So
more reliable as well. Yeah. If you literally just wanted to try some of the Fallout games, if you've got Amazon Prime, I take it.
Yes, but I don't think we have the game thing.
If you've got a Prime subscription, if you download onto your laptop or a tablet or whatever, if you download the Amazon Luna app, which is their the game streaming service, if you have Amazon Prime, then Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas are free. I think for the next couple of months. So you can play it for free using the Amazon Luna app.
Luna?
But you need Luna, Luna. So you just search for Amazon Luna, you download it onto your laptop, but you need a decent internet connection because it streams it. You don't download it, but it's free to play. So you could play it for free because you've got an Amazon Prime subscription. You just need to download Luna, sign in with your Amazon account details, and you'll be able to play Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. I think that's free for at least the next few weeks or the next couple of months.
It says you can play it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's on my TV and I just didn't know what it was.
Might have it as well. You'd be able to, if you had a Fire TV, then you'd probably be able to get the Luna app on it. It might
$12 a month or something. I'll check when we're done here.
You don't need Luna Plus. You don't need to pay for that. As long as you've got Amazon Prime, you can play Fallout. Well, you can in the UK anyway. I'm assuming you can worldwide. You should be able to. You don't need to spend money on an Amazon Luna subscription.
We're too close to the States. We're too close to the United States, and actually, I'm coming to realize I think Canada's. I watch the news, and this is a side bit, but we're irrelevant. Unfortunately, Canada's irrelevant to the rest of the world. They don't. When you talk about countries, they always say United States, Britain. It's like there's this other country, but fuck them. They don't do much except, they got a bunch of land and a few million people. They don't count. They don't even help with the UN, making sure we have enough our GDP is spent for military. It's like fuck them. I just find that so much. We just ignore it. So
Not a bad result. Just keep your heads down. Stay out of trouble. I bet you don't have any missiles pointing at you. That's not a bad result.
no. I think they would just fly over a bunch of people and drop them down. I mean, we put up a good fight, but it's just we. Anyways, hi, I'm Canadian. I'm Canadian. I'm irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah. No missiles pointing at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't. Yeah. No one really cares about us. So I don't know why I don't know why foreign countries trying to involve themselves in our government, because it's like, why? Let's just ignore us.
I think you and the Australians have that in common. It's like nobody really sort of, no one pays attention to you.
Yeah.
It's all, you're just there, just inoffensively there. You're just like someone who turns up the party, doesn't annoy anyone, doesn't make it, you're not loud, you're not dancing like an idiot in the middle of the room. You're not drinking everyone else's drinks. You just turn up, and you have a couple of like pleasant conversations, and then no one realizes that you've actually gone, and you're not missed when you're not there. It's that's you in Australia all over. It's just that one of you's got really hot weather and one of you's got really cold weather.
That's a good analogy. I like that. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
We're just like, we just show up to party and we don't bug nobody.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You just this is it, and then you've got. Yeah, where's the Canadians gone?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
When did they go? I don't know.
The guy that double dipped and left. So.
Yeah.
but anyways, yeah. So yeah, Fallout. I got back into it because of the show, and that's what you're going to talk about. Suddenly, it's back on the board. Everybody's trying to find it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Have you seen the whole season? Have you watched the whole?
I watched the whole thing.
Me too. Yeah, me too.
Oh, I thought you only watched the first two. You said.
I had, and now I've watched the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We were talking before, and I said that I was naturally supposed to get some work done this morning. I promised my boss that I'd get some work done this morning, but when I woke up, I had a headache. I was just feeling tired. I just thought, fuck this, I can't be asked. What I didn't tell you was that I actually just stayed in bed, clicked the TV on, and just watched the last two episodes of Fallout.
Oh, okay.
Instead of getting up and doing something.
Yeah.
So I watched them this morning before we started recording. So yeah, I've seen the whole thing. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Just before, if you're listening and haven't watched the show, we're going to talk a bunch of spoilers. So,
right.
Okay, that's your warning. Bye.
Okay, right. So it's fair game now then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I've been a fan of the Fallout games for quite a while now. I started playing them from Fallout 3. Didn't play the first two. I think they were PC only. That's the big reason.
I think so,
I'm not a PC gamer. But I got Fallout 3 just from reputation, just because everyone was saying how good it was. And it is still to this day probably in my top 10 favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed Fallout 3. I got the Game of the Year edition, so I got all the DLC for it, all the downloadable content, played everything, completed all the main quests, all the side quests, unlocked everything on the map. I spent hours and hours and hours playing that game, thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it appealed to me because you can just live in that world. You can just explore. You can go and build things and find things, just crafting things, repairing things, getting into fights and skirmishes with raiders or with like mutated creatures that are knocking about the place. But it was always interesting. The environments, the locations, the different characters that you came across. It was always interesting. I really, really enjoyed it. So since that point, I've been a fan of Fallout. And I started watching the TV show. And what immediately struck me was just how faithful to the Fallout games it is. It's like they've really paid attention. Everything looked and sounds like it's from a Fallout game. There's so much attention to detail. It's ridiculous. Even when there's no attention being drawn to it, just props just littered about the set. There's everything, whether it's sort of furniture or whether it's like just appliances, like coasters or that sort of thing. Everything looked like it's from a Fallout game. The color palette that they used, sound effects, everything looks like it's from a Fallout game. So if you're a fan of the Fallout series, then you really appreciate the attention to detail in the TV show. And that's even before you get into the story and the characters, which are all really good. It's even if I wasn't a fan of Fallout, I would probably still have enjoyed the TV show because it's a good TV show. Because I like that post-apocalyptic type thing anyway. But just because it had sort of like the Fallout coat of paint made it better for me. I appreciate it more. But if you're not really a Fallout fan, I think there's still a lot to enjoy there. I think it's still an enjoyable TV show. It can be pretty violent in places. Where I was watching, I think it might have been episode 7, the penultimate episode today, and that guy, the little Weasley guy, who was the Night Squire, when the Maximus, I think is called, who
Maximus.
kind of stole the power armor. When he stamps on his foot and pushes his foot. Then episode 7, when he takes his shoe off and his foot is it is mangled beyond all recognition. I really get squeamish. Oh, that looks awful.
Yes, I know.
And broken bones, the toes are hanging off. It's like big cuts and that. And you got like getting shot, and you got like big holes through them. Hair and goodness knows it. It's a good fun. It's a good fun show. It's really entertaining. Definitely for mature audiences. I really enjoyed it. Walton Goggins, who I'm a big fan of, so much stuff. But I really liked his character. I saw on Twitter someone comparing him to Lee Van Cleef from the Clint Eastwood westerns, and I can kind of see that.
Well,
I can kind of see.
Because of the interruption in talking, the thing, I was just letting you go. But I have just, you brought that at the start of it. It reminded me of a Good, the Bad, and the Ugly Clint Eastwood movie. Right?
Very much.
The ghoul, what, and then whatever, right? Three separate Maximus and Lucy, right?
Yes,
it was exactly. That's the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So.
He literally are. I hadn't realised that, but you're absolutely right. It puts the names up on the screen. When it's introducing the characters and introducing their own little plot lines and things, they literally are the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because Lucy, who's an idealist, who's grown up in this utopian society. You've got Maximus, who.
But he's the good.
He is good, but he worked for the Brotherhood, which aren't really good. They're not really sort of benevolent, are they? They're kind of.
Oh, you're right. No, sorry, I got that backwards. It would be Lucy's the good. Maximus is the bad.
Yeah, by virtue of the Brotherhood, because he does things to be recognised within the Brotherhood. He's not a bad guy.
No,
but he does things that I think would fall into the bad category. Like he lets his knights die, doesn't he? For selfish reasons. Understandable, for selfish reasons. But that is not what a good person would do, as Lucy demonstrates time and time again. He does things that are benevolent because it's the right thing to do. He's definitely the good. Maximus is definitely what you would consider to be the bad, and then of course Walton Goggins is a ghoul. He's
the ugly.
It's not a stretch to say that he's the ugly. He's not a good guy, really, is he?
No,
he's not a good guy. But he's definitely, I think, the most interesting character because, and again, this is we are definitely spoiling the shit out of this show. But he appears to be in the region of about 200 years old. And when you have flashbacks pre-war, he seems to be a really good guy. There's an awful lot happened to him in the last 200 years. I think. to have developed into this ghoul character, this bounty hunter type character. But he's cool.
He's the biggest. He's the biggest transformation. I mean, unless something happens to Lucy, I can't see her core being anything different. She'll have to do stuff she doesn't want to. She did it. The one we have to take the guy's head. You know, she adapts so quickly. That character adapts so quickly to the situation she has to do, which is amazing. So
that's right. Yeah. Well, she says to Maximus at one point, she said that she's only been to the vault for a week, and she's already thrown acid into an innocent person's face.
Well, cut a head off, acid.
Had
to shoot somebody. She had, so, and then I got to ask you, the actor, I can't remember his name, who's playing Maximus. I almost get like he's an idiot savant. Because he seems to play like he's a child lost, and at times he it's like I'm just this child and I'm just trying to do this, and then when the situation calls, they flick the switch, and then those two people on the bridge when they were crossing, like up to that point I just thought he doesn't know what to do with himself, he doesn't know how to act, and then he come on, clip, boom boom, like what the. He's just such a good guy. I don't know how to define this kid.
It's almost like a Jason Bourne character. He's like, he's obviously had a lot of training in shooting and combat, that sort of thing. And then when that training kicks in, he's like Jason Bourne. He's just sort of like, about shooting people through the head or whatever. He is definitely highly skilled in that respect. But yeah, you're right. But he just seems he has no social skills, does he?
No.
Dealing with people, or when he's dealing with situations that he doesn't understand. It's like when he was in the vault and he had the dressing gown, the popcorn and stuff. But bearing in mind, he grew up in the Brotherhood. All he knows is his training, and all he knows is his military lifestyle. So he has he hasn't learned any skills in that respect. He only knows how to be a soldier. So everything else is so completely out of his wheelhouse. He doesn't know how to speak to people. He doesn't know how to just sit in an armchair watching TV. He's never done that before. So I kind of get it. But he does come across exactly like you say, sort of when he comes across a situation that he doesn't understand, he does come across almost childlike. So it's kind of weird. It's a kind of weird choice to present the character in that way. But that you're right. That is how he comes across.
Yeah.
But he'll develop.
I'm trying to think, how do I define this character? How do I, like, I'm sure other people got it right away, but how do I define it? Because I just see a child, and all of a sudden everything's kind of happening, and then all of a sudden, his military training kicks in. But I mean, it's still at times. I think the best when he's in the suit the first few times, he doesn't know how to use it because he's never been trained in it. But he flies and stuff like that. But I with Walter Goggins, right? Goggins.
Yeah, Walton Goggins.
But Walter Goggins, his character is. At first, I was like, is he playing a different character? It's still him. I knew it was still him, but is he playing a different character? But now that they explained it, how they've been alive for so long and stuff. So
yeah, a lot of it is he's being a girl. It's like that Weasley character whose name I can't remember. He's talked about Doctor patched him up, essentially patched him up by turning him into a girl.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting. I hadn't realised that, even being a fan of the games and that I hadn't realised that. I thought when his foot just fit, and I thought that's an interesting interpretation of a health pack.
Yeah,
because when you're near death in Fallout, so you just like you take a couple of stim packs or whatever, and that's it. You're as good as new. And I hadn't really seen that how that would look on a television screen, and I thought that's all it was.
Yeah,
but no, it turns out it's actually been turned into a ghoul.
Well, you knew something was up with the guy put his hat on real quick and fucked off the way he said something, but you didn't know what, right?
Yeah, no, he was definitely sketchy as fuck.
Yeah. Right? But when he gets the arrow through his neck, oh, how come I'm not dead?
Yeah.
And he just called, I think you're a ghoul.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, that was really cool. It's like, oh shit, yeah, I thought, yeah, I didn't see that coming. That's really weird.
Yeah.
But what was good about him getting shot through the neck with the arrow is when he was talking and breathing, it made a difference. He wasn't just talking and breathing normally.
Yeah.
He was talking and breathing like he had an arrow through his neck.
Yeah.
Again, just the attention to detail in the show, I think is really good.
Yeah.
I think it's really good. Yeah, really enjoying it. So, like yourself, it really got me interested in the games again because there hasn't been a new Fallout game for quite a long time now.
Yeah.
So I have played. So Fallout 3, I played to death. Absolutely played to death. I started New Vegas at one point, but I started it at the wrong time of life because I just did not have the time for it. Like Fallout 3, which I did have time for at that point because I bought it not long after I split up from the first wife. I had an awful lot of time because I was just living in an unfurnished flat for a year.
Yeah.
All I had was time. But New Vegas, I didn't have the time to start a game that big. All the focus on building the community, like building resource machines, fixing fences, putting defense turrets down. I thought, I'm not into that. I just wanted to go out and explore and suit myself. But part of the story is about protecting this community and building things and collecting resources. I thought, I just can't be bothered. Just don't want to do this. And I just drifted off, just stopped playing for that reason.
Kind of the same way.
Yeah, Fallout 76, that's the online multiplayer game, which came out. I think it came out after Fallout 4. I think. I'm not 100% sure. Now, that sounded interesting, but it really didn't work very well when it came out, and there wasn't a lot to do. So I drifted off that very quickly as well, because there's a big map to explore, but not a lot in it and not a lot to do. So I drifted off that. Now, since that time, there has been a couple of big updates, and that it has been patched regularly. And I believe it's a much, much better game now. So I have started playing that again. So far, so good. I'm quite enjoying it. I've picked up a few quests. I'm doing some exploration. I've been fighting with some raiders and with some mutated creatures. I've been exploring some of the buildings. I've got a list of things to do. And at this moment in time, Fallout 76 is my go-to Fallout game. That's the one that I'm enjoying the most. It might not necessarily be the one that I'll play the longest, because at some point I'll probably get fed up of having either nothing to do or just repeating the same type of things or just going back through the same environments. But at this moment in time, I'm actually really enjoying it. Now, that I think I'm fairly sure that will be free on Game Pass on Xbox.
I have it on PlayStation.
Yeah.
I think I bought the game and downloaded it so I can play it. I played it a little bit. So yeah.
It has been free. If you have PlayStation Plus, it has been free. The thing about PlayStation Plus is if you don't play the games every month, when they disappear at the end of the month, that's it, it's gone. You don't get an opportunity to claim it again.
Yeah.
So I'm fairly sure that being free on PlayStation Plus, so I could download it for free. But I initially got Fallout 76 when I got an Xbox One X. I've got a download code. So I've always had Fallout 76 on the Xbox. This is what we were talking about before. Because I've had it, because I got it previously from a completely different console years ago, I can still play it. I can still download it. And my game is still saved. My progress is, the character's still there, progress, inventory, everything's still there. So I just started playing it on Xbox again. And yeah, I'm actually really enjoying it. I have gone back to Fallout 4 since, and just because it's Fallout, and just because I'm on a bit of a Fallout high at the moment, I've started enjoying that more too. But there is a patch coming out. There's an upgrade, a next-gen upgrade coming out. I think it's on the 25th of April. So at the time of recording this, on the 20th, it's just under a week away. So I've stopped playing Fallout 4. So I'm playing Fallout 76 in the meantime. When the patch comes out, the upgrade comes out next week, I'm going to start playing Fallout 4 again because it's going to improve performance. I think going to include some extra content in the game. And the graphics are going to look a lot better, more in line with the current generation of consoles. So that's probably the way to go. So if you haven't played, anyone who's listening, if you haven't played a Fallout game before, if you can wait a week, you might as well start playing Fallout 4 because there's going to be a next-gen upgrade, and it's going to look better, it's going to run better, and it should be a generally better game. That's probably the one to go for. If you can't wait and you want to play a Fallout game, then Fallout 76 might not be a bad one to just spend a week or two with until Fallout 4 comes out. If you're that way inclined, Fallout 3 is excellent, but it's probably going to be very dated now because I jumped back into Fallout New Vegas because that's supposed to be the best Fallout game story-wise.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Yeah, so I went back to that, but that looks and feels very dated. You've got to be really enthusiastic about Fallout to want to play that all the way through, I think.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back and give it a go and see how far I get through it. But yeah, so many options, and especially if you've got Game Pass. If you've got access to Game Pass or you've got access to an Xbox, and you put in just buy a Game Pass subscription, and there's most of these Fallout games are going to be available.
Yeah. I might do that today. I had it coming out every month, Xbox Pass, but I could be a month without paying, right? So I'd rather go just buy the pass, and then I know I pay for it and I've got to play it, right? So I really enjoyed the Fallout game, and and watching this series again. And I looked at as the TV show as simply as another DLC. You know, it's not exactly the same, but it's close enough to be the same. It's just just think of it as a downloadable content. They've got a different story, and you download it and you're playing it, except you're watching this one, right? Don't get all picked up because this character doesn't like this or they've changed a few things. They probably would do that in the game. They would change stuff in the game to make it more interesting for players. So don't try and I haven't tried to look online or see anything online where trolls in the basement are complaining because of the lead's a female, because the thing is you can pick your character in the game. So what's the difference, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it's so close to the Fallout games that you are essentially getting a very similar experience.
Yeah.
So if you don't play games, but you want to experience this Fallout phenomenon, then watch the TV show. It's essentially it's like watching someone play the game.
Yeah. So it's the only thing I wished is that it was week to week, not dumped all at once. I'm getting back to enjoying week to week. It gives you something to watch. You go, this is coming out today. I get see it home right now. It's like it's all at once, and I have to. Okay, well, if I want to enjoy it week to week, I've got to do it myself. I mean, that's just being lazy. I mean, it really in a way, but still, I like it. But it's just now I'm. And Amazon apparently I didn't really realize this, but they don't usually do that. They usually have week to week, and then decided to dump this all at once.
That's right. Yeah. Amazon do week to week more than anyone else. I think Reacher was with week to week. Invincible was week to week.
The Boys
week to week. The Boys is week to week. Yeah. Most of Amazon stuff. Yeah, this is weird. I wonder why they did that. I'm not complaining because I work shifts and because I have very little spare time. Dropping the whole season actually suits me better because if I have time to watch 2 or 3 or 4 episodes, I can do them because I don't know when I'm going to get time to. If I can only watch one and then I've got to wait till the next week, might not be able to watch it in a week's time. It might be 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So if I can watch 4 there, and it's like, oh, now I've got time to watch another 4 or whatever, then I can do that. It just makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
I've just been looking. In fact, that reminds me, actually, just looking at this. So I opened up my Microsoft Game Pass app on my iPad. And on the Game Pass app, you can get Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, and Fallout 76 all on Game Pass. And I think most of these, if not all, you can play via the cloud. So you don't even need to download. You can just play those online. I have been playing New Vegas. And just looking at this Fallout New Vegas thumbnail for the game reminded me that at one point in the Fallout TV show, there were a couple of people searching through the sand for bullet casings and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And they were wearing New Vegas suits.
Yeah.
And again, we're kind of still talking about Fallout, so we're still talking spoilers. And it has been all over the internet because I saw a spoiler before I even saw the last episode. But the very end of the show, it shows you New Vegas. That's going to feature.
And then the end credits, I find it even interesting to watch because it's got that game style end credits, and then you can pull through a side and it says New Vegas, or I think it does it. So,
yeah.
So
that's right. Definitely leaning into New Vegas, which makes me want to play more of the game. So I'm definitely going to go back and play more of it. Whether I finish it or not, I don't know. But I'm definitely going to go back and play more. And I'll definitely be playing it on Game Pass, and I'll probably just play it in the cloud.
Yeah.
I can just like a handheld or something, just while I'm sat in the armchair watching TV.
Yeah. Well, I went back to a save level 50 on Fallout 4. Hoping that when I get through to because I downloaded all the content before and some of it I bought, so I'm hoping that all the glitches will be gone, like it's the game. But
if you're
then
going to play Fallout 4 again, wait till next week and play it with the upgrade.
Yeah,
the only thing I'm not sure about.
Well, I play it on my PlayStation, right? But because I had all the stuff and the data, I went through a few things that showed you how to fix it, but it didn't work. So I'll wait and see. If I have to start over again, maybe I'll wait until I decide if I'm going to buy an Xbox and just start on there.
Not a bad idea. Yeah, because then you don't even need to pay for it. Well, as long as you've got Game Pass. But I get my Game Pass codes from CD Keys, cdkeys.com.
It's cheaper, you said, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Let's have a look and see if you can buy them. I assume if you go to cdkeys.com to see if it's available for you. As if I go to Xbox Game Pass and I change that to Store, it doesn't specify Canada. Let's have a look, see if you can get it.
So I got it here. So England, France, most popular stores. Yeah, I can't pick here. It just shows France, Italy, Netherlands, Spain. I think that's Germany.
Yeah, I'm not seeing. Oh yeah, that'll be it. Yeah, CAD, Canadian dollar. Oh, that in currencies.
Yeah.
So rather than the country, if you go to the currency,
yes, this currency. I see that now. Yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, I'm looking at 3 months of Xbox Game Pass, which in the UK will be £32.99, but I can buy that for £23.99, discount of 27%. Better than paying full price.
Xbox.
Yeah. So if you go to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and then if you choose Canadian dollar.
And then so I got Xbox games, gift cards, and points.
Yeah. You want subscriptions, I think. Something like that.
Memberships?
Memberships, that'll be it. Yeah. Go on memberships. And you'll probably find Game Pass Ultimate.
Yeah, there it is. And what is it? 42. $42.09 Canadian.
You got for 3 months.
Yes, that's for 3 months.
How does that compare to the just
It says
renewing it?
well, it says regular. If I bought it at the store, it's 27% saving.
Yeah.
So I'll check that out when I go today. I'll
Yeah.
stop someplace and see what if I just buy it off the shelf, what it's going to cost me.
Yeah.
Oh, it says I can activate it in Canada. So there we go. Okay.
Yeah, it's worldwide. So that'll save you a bit of money. I'm actually wondering whether you need to buy Game Pass Ultimate, because they do 2 separate tiers now, don't they? If you're just going to be playing these Fallout games, you might get away with just buying the cheaper Game Pass. But that's something we can explore later.
I got yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have to
Because
get Ultimate.
Yeah, they do Game Pass Core. I think that's what it's called. Fuck it. Let's look it up now, shall we? People listening to this might be interested. Yeah, Pass. Log. That's literally all you're interested in. Because if anyone listening to us is thinking, you know what, I'd quite like to play some Fallout games, but I don't spend a lot of money doing it. Well, let's have a look. On that, Xbox Game Pass Core.
I've got 21 bucks. It's almost 50%. It's minus 40% for just the pass.
So only it's a limited catalog though. It might not have the games that you want.
Yeah. Okay. But still, I mean, if I get the other one, that's hell. If I just get the 1 month pass to try it for the Ultimate,
yeah,
it's like 16 bucks Canadian for 1 month.
Yeah,
that's fucking pretty good.
Yeah, but then you can play all the Fallout games for a month.
Yeah. Oh, cool. I'll have to bookmark that.
We've all learned something today.
Yeah. I'll have to bookmark it now.
Yeah.
So I don't
if you've
forget it.
Ultimate, then you can play them on the cloud. So you could still play it on your television without buying an Xbox. But if you're going to be playing, I mean, these type of games, these are older games. So if you just bought a Series S, the cheapest Xbox, that'll play those easily. That'll be good enough.
Yeah.
That'll cost you a couple of $100, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Well, mind you,
So,
it's the price, is it?
Yeah. But yeah, was it the what's his name doing the voice of Mr. the Robot?
Oh, Matt Berry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Matt Berry.
Yeah.
Matt Berry was a slow burn for me because he was just kind of a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that's all he had going for him was just his voice and the way that he delivered his lines. But I've got to the point where I do actually really like it.
Yeah.
Because whatever Matt Berry's in, he's exactly the same. He just plays Matt Berry basically, whether it's whether it's even the voice in Fallout, it's basically just him just doing his thing.
Yeah.
Because he's the same as he is in What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah.
Most of London, IT crowd.
Yeah.
He's always the same character.
Yeah.
Same way of delivering his lines. But I just find it really funny. I just really like it. So whenever he does anything, I find it really, really funny.
That just reminds me, we didn't do 2 things. The 2 trailers that I asked to watch. So the first one, where is it? Boy Kills World.
That was really good. Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, I have actually seen a trailer for that previously.
Okay.
But that the trailer that I watched today, I think the first one might have been sort of like a launch trailer or a teaser or something like that.
Yeah.
But the one that I watched is I opened up Twitter so I could go to your message so I could get the news of the trailers on. And I opened it up and it's just started with showing an old WWF wrestling match. But Ultimate Warrior was just about to jump into the ring and start wailing on. It distracted me, it caught me attention, so I'm going to turn that off. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep wanting to watch that. yeah, that trailer looked really, really good.
Mhm.
It looks like just mindless action movie nonsense. But the extra bonus is having now what's it called? Is it H. John Benjamin?
Yes, I wrote it
Is that
down.
right?
Where did,
I think that's right. H. John Benjamin,
yes,
who most
that's
people
not it.
know as he's the voice of
Arthur.
Bob's Burgers.
H. John Benjamin. Yep, you're right. He's the voice of Archer.
That's right. He's Archer. He's Bob Belcher from Bob's Burgers. He plays a character in Family Guy. But yeah, I mean, Archer's fucking awesome.
Mhm.
But he does an awful lot of voice work.
I just I said to myself, that's the other than it looks fun. That's the other reason I'm gonna go. It's just to hear his inner monologue done by him.
Yes, this is it. That's the thing. That's how you describe it. It's Bill Skarsgård, who who was Pennywise in it. He's looks like some sort of mercenary type person, but he's deaf and mute. So when you're sort of with him, you can't hear anything except his own voice inside his head, which is the voice of H. John Benjamin, who's the guy who's Archer. So it sounds just like that. But when you look at him, when you look at the action, he sort of like looks really cool, sort of like fighting people, shooting, using swords, that sort of thing. But his internal monologue is not that character. It's not some cool mercenary type guy.
No.
It's just sort of like, oh, this looks important, or sort of like, oh shit, oh, I didn't expect that. You know, just normal sort of nonsense that any one of us would be thinking when that was happening. It looked really interesting. It looks creative. It looks fun, and it's interesting. I am definitely going to go and see that at the cinema.
What if I remember correctly? It has something to do with this. What's happened? It's not real. It's in this person or child's imagination.
Now that would make sense.
Because it's something like that. I read it. I should have wrote it down. I didn't. Being lazy. But there was an explanation why everything looks so cartoonish and really weird looking. It's not post-apocalyptic in the way that it's actually happening. It's in someone's imagination or a child's imagination, so he can escape his reality or something like that. I have to go back, but with the fight scenes and everything like that. I mean, John Wick started all this with this extraordinary amount of action and one guy taking on 20 people and stuff. But I was watching, and I said, "Oh, hey, this looks interesting." And then as soon as I heard Benjamin's, I said, "Oh, I'm going. I don't care."
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, really looking forward to it. Did we speak about The Crow last time we recorded?
No, I haven't really talked about it. I haven't because I don't. I'm going to go back to my Crow and stick with that. I'm not too interested in seeing a new one.
Yeah, this is it. Like that Bill Skarsgård Crow. It's like we've got a crow at home. No, you haven't. I want the real Crow, thanks. Not the store-bought sort of own brand Crow. The actual Crow, please.
Mm-hmm.
The Crow movie looked kind of interesting, but there's far too much character work in there for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like in the Crow story, it is literally just about revenge.
Yeah.
It starts with Eric and his girlfriend getting killed, and then it's just him going out for revenge afterwards. I don't really give a shit about his girlfriend's character getting developed or more story or more time with her. I don't really give that much of a fuck about her. And I know that sounds kind of awful and sexist, but the point of this story is that this guy goes on a revenge kick against this gang that's rapes and kills her and kills him.
Yeah,
that's it. And that's what The Crow's about. That's it. That's all there is to it. It doesn't matter what a good person Shelley was.
I'm here talking about it, and I wrote it down here, and then I pulled it up here, and I wrote down exactly what I said about the Boy Kills World. I did I was talking to you and didn't even look over here, and it says it's a dystopian fever dream action film that follows Boy, a deaf person with a vibrant imagination when his family is murdered and he is trained by a mysterious shaman to repress his childish imagination and become an instrument of death. So it's a fever dream. So
Yeah. All right. Even better. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go and see that.
fuck. All right.
Yeah. Go and see Pimples
Oh,
well.
there it is. Fuck. Okay. Now
Yeah.
I know exactly.
I'll-
That's where I heard it from what I wrote down.
Put some new shows on TV. That'll do. Thanks very much.
So
All right.
But,
You know what? Okay. I'll go back and read the original story by James O'Barr.
yeah, I if I want to watch a crow, I'll go watch one with Brendan Lee. Right?
Yeah. I mean, even that. Out of everything, I would highly recommend that people just read the fucking comic. Just
Yeah.
read the comic, people, because
Mhm.
it is extremely good. More so than the movie. I enjoyed the Brandon Lee film, but the story is special. That is really, really good. I accidentally I was browsing around. This is many, many years ago when I actually did go to comic book stores, when there were proper comic book stores before all this pop nonsense. Those figurines and collectibles and shit.
Yeah,
I was just browsing the stands, and I saw a book called The Crow, and the imagery, the picture on the cover was just so striking. It's like, wow, this looks interesting. Had a quick look inside, and it was the back end of the story. I didn't know it was going to be a limited series. I thought it was going to be ongoing. So I thought, well, fuck it, I'll buy this one, and then I'll buy the others at a later point. Never found them. Never found the original 4 or 5 issues, or however many I'd missed. Never found them. Ended up having to buy a trade at a later stage. But it's the first issue that I bought was when he pumped himself up full of morphine, and then goes into sort of like the gang hideout, and just gets into a massive fight with them all, and he's sort of like shooting them, he's hitting them in the head with axes and that sort of thing. And it's like, holy, this was really different to everything else that I was reading at that time. Because at that point, I was reading like Green Lantern, Hawkman, Batman, all mostly DC at that point. Very little Marvel. It's just so different. It was so cool and so good. And then, like I said, the Brandon Lee film was very close to it, finished very, very differently. I didn't appreciate. I would have preferred it to have followed the comic book a little bit more closely. But yeah, this new version of it just looks so far removed from what the original source material was that I thought, fuck all this shit. It's that's not the Crow. That is not my Crow. No thanks.
Yeah. So the other one, the trailer, Dark Matter from a Apple Plus series.
Yeah. I didn't expect it to be an Apple Plus series. That's good news because I do have Apple TV. I do have Apple Plus. I've got it in my Apple subscription because I use Apple Music. That looks really interesting.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Not least of which because Jennifer Connelly's in it. And I have had a massive crush on Jennifer Connelly since she was in Labyrinth. And I know she was only 16, but so was I, people. I'm no pervert. I've had a crush on it. We've been the same age since I first had a crush on it, so leave me alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks really interesting. It kind of looks like a cross between Severance, which is another Apple Plus show, which if you've not seen it, is fucking brilliant. It is. You have seen it. Yeah,
no, I don't have Apple Plus, so.
Well, you don't. Oh shit. Hey, well, Severance is really, really good.
I can always find it.
Yeah,
I can find it. So,
just very quickly, because we're going to be talking about Dark Matter. So, Severance is where people they pay to have like a chip inserted. So, during the night when they're sleeping, when they're resting, their unconscious part of the brain takes over and goes to work. So they work during the night, but the normal part of the brain is actually resting. It's actually sort of in sleep mode, if you will. And they unconsciously go to work, spend all night working. So during the day, they've got the whole day off. They've worked, they're rested. They don't consciously have to go to work. The subconscious part of the brain is going to work. The subconscious part of the brain is completely separate to the conscious part of the brain. Two completely different people. The subconscious part of the brain, while they're at work, has absolutely no idea what their actual life is like. They have absolutely no idea. But they know that they're the subconscious parts. They know that they aren't like the primary person. It's kind of weird. But then it gets to a point where it's like, well, we don't want to, because all their life is just work. That's it. They don't get time off. They just work. You switch your brain off, and then your subconscious goes to work for 8 hours, and then that's all they do. The subconscious only turns on when they're at work. Their life is just work. They are not happy. So they're like, well, hang on a minute. This isn't fair. You know, I'm a person too. I'm a completely different person to the daytime person, but I don't want to just spend all my life at work. I want friends, family, life, freedom, that sort of thing. So then they sort of like, they go about trying to, because that's all they know is work. So they're trying to explore a little bit. They're trying to learn a little bit more about how it works, how they get there, why they're there, how to get out, that sort of thing. It's really, really interesting. It's really, really very good. I can highly recommend it. Now, having said all of that, Dark Matter, the trailer that we've just watched, it reminds me of that because it's a guy who's sort of hears to wake up one day and nobody knows him. His life has completely changed. The people in his life, he's got a different wife. He's got like the people that his friends don't know him. It seems really, really weird. But the premise of the show appears to be there are multiple versions of him.
Yeah.
And one version of him has decided, I actually want his life, not mine.
Yeah.
So they steal his life and insert him into their life. And that's a lot like Severance in that respect. But the trailer looks like a cross between Severance and Inception, which I thought was quite interesting. It seems to be quite a high concept science fiction type show, this, which appeals to me. It's the type of thing that I'd like to. So I am definitely going to watch that. My wife won't. She hates it. It's too complicated for her. She won't understand it. She won't enjoy it.
Okay.
He quite likes watching X on the Beach and Married at First Sight and Big Brother and that sort of shit.
Oh, yeah.
So she's not going to watch this.
Okay.
But I will definitely watch this. It looks really interesting.
I'll have to find it in other app matters, but because I don't want to pay any more for services. I pay enough already, and like I got Netflix and I got Netflix. Harrison pays for Disney, Amazon, a couple other ones, and then because I hate paying. I'd rather pay for cable and get a shitload of stuff than paying for one thing where I'm only going to watch 2 shows, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, absolutely. It's not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it. If I didn't use Apple Music, then I wouldn't have an Apple TV subscription. There isn't enough to justify the price. There's some really good stuff on there. It's like Severance is really good. For All Mankind is really good.
Yeah.
Slow Horses is really good. The stuff that's on Apple TV is really good. It's just that you can watch it in the space of a week and then you're done. As like Netflix, they just give it. Oh, in fact, not true. I think For All Mankind was every week. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah. Well, no, that's fine.
Yeah, because I use Apple Music, it's only an extra few pounds on top of that to get Apple TV as well. So it's like, for that price, I'll do that.
Okay. Speaking of All Mankind, I kind of watch that whenever I need to be in a real mood to watch it. I find it very, I don't know, like when that kid was on there and he was in love with the woman and he's having all these issues and stuff. I just kind of said, kill the kid, or can he just die? I just don't care about him.
That's the least interesting part of that story. That side story involving the kid and the guy's wife.
Yeah.
I have no interest in this whatsoever. Yeah. I want to get back to the space exploration, the space race. and working out how to get these, how to land on all these other planets and shit. That's the good bit. I'm not interested in
I
that.
think the other bit that's kind of tiring to me is just because with just things is just okay. The Russians they're having a coup and now they're gonna fight in space, and it just seems so. I don't know, like it's been done in my mind. It's been done before, even though it's an alternate reality, a different storyline. This crap's all the same. I mean, it shows how humans would actually be, right?
Yeah.
We're not Star Trek. Never will be Star Trek. So.
No. The concept of the show is really interesting, but like we were saying, well, a couple of hours ago, you get to a point where you run out of ideas, but you're still getting money thrown at you, so you kind of feel obliged to keep doing something.
Yeah.
And I think For All Mankind is kind of at that point now. I think they're kind of at the point where they've exhausted the good idea that they had, and now they're just trying to just carry on writing something because they're getting paid to, rather than telling a story that they want, like a good story that they wanted to tell.
Well, yeah.
Fast approaching that point with For All Mankind.
It's what's going to be the conflict. What's going to be the conflict, not what's going to be a good story. What's going to be the conflict, and we'll write the story around the conflict. And it just seems to me like they're writing a bad story around the conflict. I have them. I just haven't watched them all. So.
Nice.
And my thing is I've been before, it's more comedy and stuff like that. That's that. Like I always had a story in my head where it was a mixture of Doctor Who and now it sounds like ultimate reality, that my story had the ultimate reality. You go through doors. Instead of using a TARDIS, you'd go open a door and the door would take you someplace else. And you're kind of like protectors of the timeline, but for the whole universe.
So that kind of sounds like the Loki TV show.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I had this story a long time ago in my head. You just never done nothing, right?
I see. You could have written the Loki TV show.
Yeah. So it's like, they say when you think of something, someone else thought of it too, right? That's what they heard.
It's just a race to who gets it out first. Yeah. Very few unique ideas, I think.
Yeah.
That's just the way it works. You just need to be the first one to do it.
The sun must have moved for a while there with the background with Deadpool. What happened is that the sun must have been shining the right way. You look like a ghost.
Oh.
You're all lit up, kind of white, and in the background, you made it look like you're a ghost in the background.
Oh, right, okay.
So not now. It's gone. It's gone. So
right.
But
the cloud's probably gone back over the sun.
The other thing else I could bring up, I went and saw Kong and Godzilla yesterday. Kong X Godzilla.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. I actually got more involved in the Kong storyline than I did really with anything else. I saw an interview where the director said he wanted to tell the story not from the humans' prospect, but the monsters. And you do see that. I think the humans are there, but they're here to help the story. They're like filler. We got the monsters. Now they're going to let us know what's going on because the monsters can't really talk. Okay, then we go back to the monsters. They tell us what's going on. They go back to the people. They tell us what's going on. We go back to the monsters. And I enjoyed it. I didn't think I enjoyed it as much as I did. There was this one other movie I wanted to go see, but it wasn't out. But so I picked that one. It was entertaining. It was. I enjoyed it. So
I'll probably watch that when it comes to Sky TV.
Yeah.
I'm not a massive fan of Kong or Godzilla.
Yeah.
I have watched pretty much all the previous movies, but I very rarely go to the cinema to watch them.
There was Henry Cavill's in this movie. I think it's done by. It's coming out. They play a team of soldiers during World War II that do missions. Is
it something like the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Conduct?
Yeah. which is kind of. It sounds like it was a story loosely based on the actual the soldiers, the group of soldiers during World War II that were working in the desert.
It looks really entertaining.
Yeah, that's what I want. It was supposed to be out. It said it was supposed to be out the 19th. It said, and oh fuck, good, I'll go see it. And
is that supposed to be out? Let's have a look.
It's supposed to be.
I fancy seeing that. Over the next couple of months, there's a few movies that I do want to go and see. There hasn't really been anything for a while. Civil War, fancy that.
Well, I don't want.
I've not seen Ghostbusters yet.
I don't want to go see that Civil War. I'm
interested. It's the type of movie that I think me and a friend of mine would appreciate watching. I'm disappointed that I missed seeing Dune 2 in the cinema. I really wanted to see it.
I saw it. It's more interesting than the first one. So
right. I enjoyed the first one, but it's after I finished. But while I was watching it, I thought this was really impressive, and I enjoyed it a lot. But after it finished, I thought, well, I kind of feel like I've seen it, and I don't need to see it again. I think I've done, but I do want. I would like to have seen the second one because I bet the special effects were really good.
Yeah.
Really should go and see Ghostbusters at the cinema before that goes.
It was Ghostbusters or Kong, and I chose Kong. So
yeah, and aside from that, what's coming out next? Oh, Fall Guy. I want to go and see Fall Guy as well with Ryan Gosling. Have you seen the trailer for that?
Yes, I did, and I saw it there and this does kind of look interesting.
Yeah, that looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
that looks like an entertaining movie. I'd quite like to see that. Yeah, I'd like to see that. Yeah, aside from that, no, there's no. I mean, this is you know what it's like where I live. The cinema's quite small. It's only got a few screens. If that Henry Cavill film does come over here, I bet it's only going to be there for a week, if not.
Yeah,
I'm going to be looking to catch that at the cinema.
I want to see the new Planet 8 one. I want to go see that one.
Yeah, I like those Planet of the Apes films. Yeah. My wife she gets sad.
I get sad when I see Civil War. I don't. That's just gonna. That's why I don't want to see it. It's just gonna fuck with my head, and I don't need something to do that.
Oh,
I get enough of that real world, so.
Yeah, I will probably just get annoyed watching that because it's supposed to be a parody, but it was probably a little too close for comfort, I would imagine, looking at it. Yeah,
I'm going to have to start another feed. I'm getting too political on my podcast feed. So, putting too much stuff out there, or someone is, well, this is supposed to be a podcast thing, and no, too much of that, so.
We've been talking about some nerd shit today. I don't know what everyone's complaining about.
Oh, no, it's just if you follow my feed, it's on Xbox, sorry. Not on X. On X.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Got you.
Sorry. Yeah. I was getting mixed up there. On X, I'm going to have to start another one. Change all my stuff to that one and get back to.
Yes, another one.
Yeah, get another one. So, but, yeah, I think that's about it for now. We're almost 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's fast approaching 6 p.m. here, so I'm going to go and get something to eat.
Yeah. All right, then.
That's good. I think I managed to get everything in this week. That's good.
Yeah, I might have.
Eventually, that's the important thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I can stop recording and we can still talk. Let me do that.
Yeah, just flip everyone else off first.
Oh, we're supposed to say goodbye and I forgot. Oh, well, I'll just put...
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.
That's all, folks.
Thank you. Come again.
Why, you little?